Hello everyone, it's been a while. So after months of teasing, cryptic posts and very weird pictures, we finally got to hear Kevin abstract to the album titled Blanket. On this project, Kevin reveals his rock persona and gave us a 13-track, 37-minute full of various different ideas. It definitely feels like a breath of fresh air from him, and I was really curious on how the album is going to feel like, but I also was a little bit worried considering it's quite a risky move to make such a drastic change in your sound. I'm not going to try and go too much into the entire lore behind the album, but I might try to do that in another video, but we'll see about that. Nonetheless, I would like to give you guys my track-by-track thoughts on the album and how I personally feel about it. But before we start, I would like to thank Kevin for the opportunity to listen to the album early. I got it from him a few days before the album officially dropped, just so I could review it for this channel. So without further ado, let's jump to the first track. When the road Posts to Break is an amazing start to the album. The sound of the song is quite haunting yet very catchy. It does feel like it could belong as an intro for a horror movie. The only problem that I could have with it is that I wish there could be a drum section near the end of the song that would make the whole experience feel even more full, but I don't really mind that. I like the song a lot and it's my top 3 of the entire project. With the song drop as the first single, it didn't really blow me away, but after a couple of more listens it grew to be one of my favorites on the album. It has this grand and heavy sound that can hype you up very quickly, and overall is just so much fun. I get that some people could complain about lack of the lyrics, which I was that person at first, but I feel like this song defends itself with just an instrumental. A really good track. Running Out was probably my least favorite single from the rollout, but it's still a pretty decent song. One of the catchiest hooks on the album and a very nice and upbeat instrumental with this great outro section. I don't really have much more to say about it, it's just quite nice and fun song. The Grace is another really good track. First, the verses sound extremely good and the instrumental is one of the best on the entire album for sure. I feel like the outro kinda drags for a little too long, but it's easily saved by those wonderful synths. It's also very nice to see Kevin work with Roy Blair again. Yet another highlight on the project. Voyager is my least favorite song on the album so far. It sounds nice with a really sweet sounding guitar, but it doesn't really feel fully developed in my opinion. Outro this time is the part that saves the song for me. The choir-like vocals sound gorgeous and the small switch in the instrumental sounds very pretty. Nothing great, but still a good song nonetheless. Madonna was the most hyped up song before the album officially dropped, and for a very good reason. Probably the most catchy and fun song on the whole project. The hook is very addictive and will be stuck in your head for a really long time. I can really see this one blowing up if it will be properly promoted. Today I Gave Up is easily my favorite song on this project. I love it so much. I don't know how to describe it, but this song makes me feel very calm and hits me on a personal level. I could just see myself looking at the stars during cold night while listening to it. It feels like a song stream from the 90s. I only wish it could be a little more longer, but besides that it's absolutely stunning. What Should I Do is yet another extremely catchy song for me. It has this really bright instrumental that gives me the vibe of fun summer childhood memories with yet another fantastic outro. I think I can see some kind of pattern here by this point. Definitely a top 3 on the whole project for me. Mr. Edwards is small little nice interlude. It has this kind of experimental and heavy sound to it that works very well with the overall theme of the album, and with how Kevin wants to portray Mr. Edwards in the blanket lore. It's short but quite fun.
Can't be summer, won't be spring, I'll be somewhere in the moment.
Scream is my least favorite song on the album. Feels really underdeveloped and pretty bland compared to the rest of the project. It has kind of fun verses and it was nice to see birds show up for a brief feature, but besides that I don't really think I will come back to this one too often.
It's real to me. It's real to me.
Turns out that 2 of my least favorite songs come back to back on this album. I like this song a little bit more than Scream, but I don't feel like the song fits the vibe of the project, and the song just drags for a little bit too long and gets kind of boring the further it goes. It's still fun in some parts though. Hide Spiders in the Dark is pretty much Blanket Part 2, with Kevin doing some alternate lyrics during an MTV Unplugged concert. It has a really nice kind of haunting sound to it, like the first track on the album, with, you guessed it, really catchy outro that's been stuck in my head for a while now. It's actually a pretty decent acoustic track.
The way I think about you, my friend.
My Friend is a really pretty closer to the album. Entire track feels like a country song that you listen to during sunset after a beautiful day. The MJ Lenderman feature on the hook was the star of this track for me, it just sounds so beautiful. Another huge highlight on the album and a very good way to close the project. So, overall, I think that Blanket is a great album. It has some really amazing moments with only few that don't really connect with me in any way. Is it his best project to date? Personally, I don't think so, but that's probably because of the fact that I hold his previous 2 albums in very high regards. I also see this album kind of dividing the fan base. I have a feeling that it will be one of those projects that you would either love or hate. But besides that, I think it's a very good time and you should definitely check it out. I would also like to thank Kevin once again for giving me a copy of the album early so I could write this review. I genuinely appreciate it a lot and I am so happy that I could see him evolve so much from all the way since I discovered him and BH during Saturation days. So, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you next time. Enjoy Blanket.